Greetings, beloved. Hi, it's Dr. Amanda Noelle, Twin Flame Alchemist, and this is Twin Flames, Death and Losing a Loved One. We're going to get deep and dive in just a moment, but I wanted to congratulate you for showing up in the energy of loss. Loss is one of the most painful things, that vibration of something that you feel in your heart you need, and then there's that ripping apart, that separation, that severance. It's incredibly painful. And I have to say, my father is on his deathbed. He has maybe a week left. I don't know. It's been a horrible battle with cancer, and it's been about a year that he was granted to live, and it's coming to a close very soon. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I've been dealing with that, but this book ties into it. So he gave me this incredible book, and it contains mystical secrets in it. And I turned to a random page on 333. And it's all about the sun in history and in the mystery schools. And the sun has three phases. It has the birth of the sun in the morning twilight. It has the peak where the sun shines above us. It's life. And then it has its death when it sets. So we have birth, we have life, and we have death, not just in our bodies, but in everything that's here in our reality. That's the Trinity, and that's the triple flame. They literally called it in the mystery schools and in the Freemasonic tradition, the triple flame. And in order for us to have a lasting sacred union, we have to learn to let go and let love. And that's the phase 0 in my twin flame alchemy formula that I've applied successfully on thousands of my fans and clients in order to help them call in their twin flames. We have to let go and let love. And so we have to learn about this death process. So while you might be in it right now going, oh my gosh, this is harrowing, this is hard, I don't want to be in this hell, I want to be out of it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was there. I had my twin flame dark night of the soul. It lasted really intensively for about 2.5 years. And then it kept on going somewhat significantly for 5 years until I met my true twin flame. So if you can accept this death phase as an initiation into the greatness of the next phase of lasting love, that you're not coming from fear, you're not coming from clinging on, but you're in that surrendered state. So my dad, who has been slowly losing his light and his life in his body, how have I dealt with death? Well, synchronicity brought me to, I was in a course with one of my mentors, and he happened to have a guest speaker come on. This guest speaker had died 3 times actually, or maybe even more than that. And so he could talk about the afterlife of when you go to the other side. And he went down the tunnel of light, and he met the guides or the masters, and he went through the life review. So these are things that are said to happen all over the world. If you study anthropology of death, death is nothing to fear, because we have enough evidence, at least in my mind's eye, that when people die, they're greeted by their loved ones, they are greeted by angels and guides and masters, and then they're taken through a life review. And then they go on to do something that's more important than what they're doing here. If you're here, you have work to do. Now is the time. But if for some reason your body needs to go, now, I do believe that it's not right to suicide. I believe that if you are here, there's a reason for it. But if our body ends up needing to transition, like it's the case for my dad, then there's a higher purpose to it. There's a path. And even the journey of death is a gift in some ways. As hard as it's been, I've grown so much from letting go of my dad. And it's guided me into being a better spiritual teacher. And it's guided me into being a stronger woman and a better mother. And I feel like to my daughter, I'm a better mother because instead of coming from this codependent place where I'm like, I need you to make me happy, I'm coming from a place of someday I'm going to leave you. This isn't forever. So let's make the most out of this. Let's celebrate and let's create something beautiful in this life that is eternal. Let's tune into the eternal love instead of coming from the scarcity, the neediness, the codependence, and keeping each other small. And instead, play with the field of infinite possibilities. There was a woman that came into my life. I actually attended one of her twin flame ceremonies, and she had this picture of her twin flame, and he was on her altar, and I was wondering, I wonder why her twin flame's not here. And then she shared she had lost her twin flame about 3 years prior to cancer, and she said it was the love of her life, the only real twin flame. And I felt so sad for her, and I felt like, wow, what a gift that she's sharing twin flame love with all of us. At that point, I was newly in my relationship with my twin flame. I didn't know if we were true twin flames yet, but I had a feeling that there was potential there. And I left this ceremony feeling like I had clarity on what twin flame love meant for me, and that it was Jack. And this woman did not have that clarity. And I spoke to her several years later, and I hopped on a call with her, and I felt like I wanted to guide her. She said, no, I lost my twin flame. I think it's done. And I said, you know what? I've helped several women in your scenario, and I know it's so painful, and I know how hard it is. But I believe that twin flame love is everlasting and internal and eternal, and it starts within. And we don't exactly know how it works, but when we're open to the mystery and we claim what we truly want, and if you do want a sacred twin flame union, it's not going to be the same as the one that you had with the person in the past. But if you want to cultivate a healthy, lasting union that is twin flame worthy, you can have that. And when we limit twin flame love and we say we only get one chance, I found my twin flame and I lost them. I lost them to cancer, I lost them to death, or I lost them to another woman. They're staying in the marriage that they're in with children, they're not leaving. Or I lost them because it wasn't the right timing and I had to move on. Whatever it was, this loss that's so painful. Well, we actually are living an illusion. Beyond the Maya, the creation, this veil, there is eternal love, and it starts within us, in our own inner nucleus, in our hearts. So what happened to that woman who said, well, my twin flame's dead and it's over for me? After I did the counseling, she went, you know what? I'm going to sit with that, Amanda. You have a good point. I'm just going to sit with it. Well, not a year later, she called me back and said, thank you. I've met somebody and he's like a twin flame. I don't know what to say. He's totally different than the other person, but there's this incredible twin flame familiar energy that she felt was real. And the partnership she had, well, can you compare it to the past? No, there's no comparing love. Love is love, and it has every shade in the rainbow. And yet she had something that was worth fighting for, that was worth being in, and she was in love again and happy. So if you've lost a loved one, know that yes, there's going to be a period of grieving and loss, and we're going to have to live through that separation, that suffering. It's painful. The winter comes, it's cold, it's dark, everything but the evergreen trees die. But then spring comes again and things are reborn. So we have this cycle of death and rebirth. We can't live in a twin flame union if we're constantly living in fear. We can't grow. We can't heal and go beyond the illusion. So the fear around death that holds so many people back is not something that you want to have in your space. That's why in the mystery schools, they would have you face your death. In the ancient mystery schools in Egypt, it was said that initiates would swim through these pools with crocodiles on each side, and you'd have to go through a small hole and find your way through the hole, hoping that no one ate you. And if you got eaten, then you faced your fear of death, and there was a win in that. Now, that does not happen at Aphrodite University, our mystery school. We don't do anything like that. But if we don't face our fears, then we can't grow. So that's why I encourage my clients and my students to face their fears and go out dating with people that challenge them, that they have resistance to, or they don't feel good enough around, and instead show up and play full out. We do drama therapy at Aphrodite University to face our fears and work with our archetypes and go, oh, my inner girl is so shy right now. God, I don't know if I feel beautiful. And it's so healing to watch these women come out and play and make fun and give a raspberry to these little demons in us that cause us to feel that fear is real. Fear is simply an emotion, and we can transmute it. Love is the only thing that's real. Fear is an emotion, but love is the only thing that's real. So when we return to love, when we honor and accept the triple flame, the birth, the life, the light, and the death, and we see this Trinity as one triangle of life, then we can create incredibly in our own life with our twin flame. We can let go and let love and let them go if they need to go. And if they are a divine fit, they do come running back, and they come to stay when we are in that alignment within ourselves. So if you've been going through a death, a loss of a loved one, I hope you know that your loved one will always be there. You can telepathically connect with them. You can send them love wherever they are, if they're in a body, if they're sick, if they're not. I also just lost my dog this week. And it was really painful because she's been in my life for 11 years. She helped me heal a heartache, and I've even been reticent to talk about it because it does bring up a lot of grief and sadness. Hazel was my best friend. She held me together when my twin flame counterfeit left me, and she was there till the dying end of my father's life. He's gonna leave in a few days, and she just left 2 days ago. And yet I feel her. I feel her in my heart. She's sitting here with me. I can call her in any time. There is no death. There is no end to the love that is. So act from that place of courageous love, and you'll receive a full bounty in your life. Thank you so much for joining me. Comment below what you're going through. I'd love to hear it. Share anything that you learned from this video, and I'll see you in the next. Namaste, namaste.